Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new edition of the Drizzle Wrestling Report. I have some absolutely interesting information for you wrestling fans. So let's start off with what is going on with the James Ellsworth situation. It has been reported that he was recently accused of sending dirty pictures to underage female fans. He has yet to comment on the situation, but it's been all over the internet and Instagram that he was accused of doing this. That is also the reason why he has not been taking, uh, you know, action, I guess, at this point to defend himself because there is no actual knowledge of uh, photos right now, but this girl is saying that he did end up sending her these pictures and they are on her phone, so they're apparently going to be turned into a prosecutor. So he could be in some decent amount of trouble going forward and the possibility of not having a wrestling career at all at this point. Um, so that is not a good situation for Ellsworth. So with other news, Impact Wrestling has announced that Trevor Lee is officially going to be leaving the company and is going to be running his last dates out. But he will be a free agent as of December 24th. So he will not be at the Impact tapings beyond that. Um, and he looks like it's going to be having interest in going to NXT in WWE, which I think is an absolute great accomplishment if he gets to do that because he was trained by the Hardys, and this guy is a great talented wrestler. He can go. Um, Shane Strickland from MLW, their former champion, is also going to be starting at the Performance Center for NXT. He will be there and reporting as of 2 weeks from today for his first official tryout and working in the Performance Center. So he'll be doing some dark matches, obviously. Matt Riddle's already had his debut, and we've seen him do very well. Um, I'm not too sure what's going on with EC3 right now. We haven't heard a whole lot about the situation. I kind of wonder what's going to be going on with that. Some people are saying he might end up being on the main roster by January, but we've seen nothing from him except a few dates with him wrestling, so we don't really understand that whole situation right now. We're going into Survivor Series this Sunday. Uh, total screw up here as far as WWE booking all of these matches right away because they had to change so much because of injuries. Becky Lynch officially is not going to be wrestling. She is out of Survivor Series, so Charlotte Flair will be taking on Ronda Rousey. Um, the 5-on-5 matches pretty much stay the same. Not too much has really changed with that situation. The major news, honestly, going out of SmackDown this past week, which was a great show, by the way. I commend WWE for doing SmackDown the way they should do it. They gave us a pretty big loop and a shock at the end of the show. Is Daniel Bryan is your official new WWE champion. He did defeat AJ Styles. He basically low blowed him when the referee wasn't looking and did the running knee, hit him right in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3, new champion, Daniel Bryan. So I guess it's going to be Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar this Sunday at Survivor Series. The match that was supposed to happen last year is actually happening now, which I'm not against because I think Daniel Bryan could actually give Lesnar a pretty decent amount of, you know, competition, honestly, because Daniel Bryan's always been a really decent wrestler. I mean, throughout his career. So I think that that's not a terrible match for the fans. My concern is now, what do you do with AJ? Is he going to be on Team SmackDown? Are you going to have him wrestle a different match? What is the deal with that situation? I thought Raw was a really good show this week as well. I was pretty impressed with that too. I liked the ending brawl between all the women. I thought that was a high point for that show. Um, the Corbin thing, yeah, him fighting Braun Strowman, I think is not a terrible thing. We'll just have to figure out what is going to happen. Uh, sorry, going forward. Um, the other news that is being reported is there are several contracts up going into next year. So we're going to start it off with the women. So we're going to talk about Mandy Rose, Paige. Those are two in mind that their contracts are up. Stephanie McMahon, obviously, her contract is going to be up for as well competitor wise, yes. Um, so we'll have to see what happens with the Mandy Rose and Paige thing. Paige is the general manager of SmackDown right now. I think if they let Paige go, they would have to obviously have a new manager for the show. Um, Stephanie McMahon, we already know she's going to stay around either way because she's behind the scenes and she's basically taking care of all the professional business with Triple H. So I don't really see her going anywhere. Um, so with that, we're going to talk a little bit about Ring of Honor. Their contract situation is Daniels, Jay Lethal, Christopher Daniels. I'm sorry, Kazarian. Sorry, Flip Gordon, and Sean Taylor. I believe those are the ones that are being talked about right now. I would say Ring of Honor needs to negotiate definitely with Daniels and Kazarian and Jay Lethal. I think those are very important talents for them to have going forward. Um, some of the other talent, honestly, I am kind of concerned about, like Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, for example, because they have crossover, deals with New Japan as well. Those are up as well, and Cody is actually injured right now. So Marty Scurll is the other person who his contract will be up very soon as well. So New Japan and Ring of Honor need to figure out what's going to be going on as far as contracts and who they're going to keep, not keep, let go. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on right now with this contract negotiation stuff. Um, what would I say? Do I think is going to happen? I think the Young Bucks, they're going to make their decision based on, you know, basically Cody and Kenny Omega too, because his contract will be up as well soon. So Marty Scurll might even be in that situation too. I mean, Hangman Page as well. His contract is going to be up too. Um, some noticeable talents in WWE that are going to be talked about here. The Miz, Kevin Owens, are top ones there. And then you have to consider the Dolph Ziggler situation. We don't really know whether he signed his deal, didn't sign his deal at this point in time. And then you have to consider Rey Mysterio. His deal is only for 2 years, so that could come into play. Kevin Owens is also going to be a free agent in 2022. So, there is just a lot going on right now. And we at this point we don't really know who's going where or what the situation is with some of these top superstars. And there's even some announcers where their contracts are up as well. So we have to figure that out. Like Jim Ross's contract, that's another person I was going to talk about. His contract is going to be up. The other person who has contract stipulations right now too is Bobby Roode and Eric Young. They're also going to be, their contracts are going to be up next year as well. So it really depends on what these companies want to do, swap talents or let them go or walk or bring in more talent. WWE has always brought in lots of the NXT talent. like Nikki Cross recently made her debut on SmackDown a few weeks ago. And SmackDown has always been growing their talent, and I think that that's wonderful. And I like the fact that they're kind of this whole Shane thing is just I don't know, I don't understand the whole thing, but I guess it's going somewhere at this point. Um, so with that, I think that there's a lot to figure out for all these companies: who's coming, who's going, who's leaving, who's being trained at this point in time. Madison Rain's contract will also be up at the end of 2019, so she only signed on for one deal with Ring of Honor. So she'll have an option of going somewhere as well. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that I've also been watching 205 Live lately, and I really like the idea of Mike Kanellis and Maria coming into that brand and really shining, really putting on great, mic skills, wrestling, the rivalry between them and the Lucha Brothers, House Party. I'm sorry. I think it's been really good for 205 Live. 205 Live has a lot of great talent, and I think that they are very capable of doing an all pay-per-view. In fact, I'm going to say it right now, book it. Do it all 205 Live pay-per-view. I think you guys could do it. You have enough talent there. Going forward, I feel like 205 Live has been very well written, and matches are great. Commentary, I think, is great too. So with that, I'm going to cut off. I just wanted to do this quick wrestling, update. And the CM Punk thing, we're just going to handle it right now. So, Instagram, Twitter. CM Punk was asked, flat out asked, by wrestling reporters and investigators, are you considering a comeback to the wrestling industry? He responded, flat out, if there was a time machine, that is the only way that I would go back and redo my wrestling career. So he is saying, I am officially done with professional wrestling. I only want to do MMA and UFC fights. He has, now, never say never, okay? Because maybe 15 years from now, he might change his mind. You never know. But I'm just saying that's what he told reporters. If there was a time machine, that's the only way that I would go back and redo my wrestling career and stay in WWE. Or even consider a comeback to Impact Wrestling, which he got his start there. So, we have to just let Punk do what he's doing, be who he is, and respect it, and just leave the guy alone. That's all we need to do right now. I mean, I'm sorry for the Punk fans, but we need to just let it go. He's not interested. He has issues right now. So, where he just wants to be a martial arts expert and fighter. So, with that, I'm going to cut loose. I just wanted to do this video and let you guys know that there's a lot of stuff going on right now between all the companies, and a lot of stuff is being figured out. We don't really know who's going where, who's signing with who, or any of that stuff right now. When I know a little bit more, I will keep you guys posted. But this is the video I wanted to do. Everybody enjoy your wonderful week. And Survivor Series is Sunday, so I'm going to probably be going on reviewing the matches for you guys and keeping it dedicated to all the wrestling fans who want to hear what I have to say.